We have a 99 Club Car DS with the crank, no start. Well, obviously we have a loose belt, so we'll have to tighten that up. See if it cranks over. There it goes. Nope. Alright, we gotta adjust the belt. So we need to loosen them up. Come on. Oh yeah, I see water in the gas. See, sometimes these belts get so stretched, you really have to go to town on the... Don't ever put a bar between the muffler and the starter generator. You always want to go between the starter generator and that bracket that it mounts to. That way you don't crush or collapse the muffler. As you can see, it's pretty, oh, I can't see, but I'll show you, it's pretty rough. It's in rough shape. So is my ratchet. That whatchamacallit has had enough. Okay. Alright, so our belt now is adjusted. Now it should just crank. Well, there we go. Whoop. Adjusted our belt. You can see we have not much deflection now. It's nice and tight. Pull the carburetor off. Take it apart and clean it. We're going to change our fuel filters because you can see they're gnarly. This cart has been sitting for a while, you can tell. Let's take a look at the fuel tank. I don't know if you can see, there is a bunch of debris in there, so it's not exactly clean, but it's not terrible either. So I'll get this off, take it apart, clean it, change the fuel filters. We're going to add another fuel filter right before the pump here, just off camera. So that way we have double protection here. A little bit low on oil. Now it's been, let's say, a couple of months since I've been using these gloves. I'm almost to the box. Well, a couple of weeks really. I'm really liking them. They're a lot stronger than the Harbor Freight ones I've been using before this, the blue gloves, but they're textury, they're nice. They're a lot nicer than I expected them to be. So I think I'll be ordering a bunch of them actually. This was a cart that I went to the customer's site and installed the battery for them on site, which I don't typically do anymore. I usually take the cart off property and bring it here just to save time and make it go quicker. But I figured it was a quick fix. I was trying to save the guy some money. That didn't work. I had to take the cart anyway. Because once he drove it around for about 15 minutes, it stopped running. Which is why I'm leaning towards this being all our problem. So actually, before we go too far with this, I'm going to remove the gas cap. I'm going to take off the fuel line. I think the carburetor is going to need to be cleaned anyway. See, I smell water. It seems like there's water in that gas. And then I change this filter anyway because it needs it. Not even going to dick with the filter. Oop. Ooh, there's water in it. Very creamy. All right. Ooh, and it stinks. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. I wish I had a way to show you how creamy the fuel coming out of the fuel line is real. It's like a creamy white. It's certainly not any good by any stretch of the imagination, and it smells like pond water. No, pond water would be a compliment. All right, so we got to pump this fuel system down a little bit because I can't let it run like that because there's not fuel in it. He's probably going to need a fuel pump. And so what I'm going to do is put my electric pump on. So I'm going to keep everything in the fuel system intact. Slip this over here. And I'll hook it up to... So you could already see it. See the scum? It stinks like you wouldn't believe. Like rotten, decaying, just not something you would really want to be breathing, let alone put in your engine. So here we go. We're going to go to positive. If it'll let me here. I don't know what's up with this. Click it onto that ground. It might not be. So we'll get to see what we got coming out. Wow. Okay, so it's definitely not... There we go. Now it's clean gas. Okay. So now the fuel system has been primed. But you can see, look at all that yellow stuff in there is basically algae and slime. And there's water in it too. Mostly water. Alright, so we'll go back to positive here. Now we're also pumping through from the pump. The cart's pump. So that's much better looking. It's still kind of gnarly, but it's definitely better. I mean, it's also mixing with a little bit of oil that's in there, but it's still got like a hazy film to it, so it's not perfect by any stretch. Okay, so we know now that that's good. I want to see if this pump is actually working properly. Doesn't seem like it. Alright, so we need a fuel pump. I think while we're in here, we're going to change out these fuel lines because these look a little bit gnarly. Just change them all out. New clamps, new fuel lines. It'll clean the carburetor. We definitely have to do that. Oops. Yeah, so we know if that was in the fuel system, I could only imagine what's in this carburetor, but we'll come back to that. We're going to change all these fuel lines out first. Try to get everything in shot here. But we got to change this fuel pump, we're going to change the fuel lines, clean the carburetor, and he should be good to go. Alright, so I don't have any fuel pumps in stock. I got one ordered. I should have it Friday, hopefully. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is we're going to at least get everything else taken care of here. So we're going to put a fuel filter right here. So I'm going to cut that. This is just so I can get my fuel line lengths together. Cut out the gap where the fuel pump would go, or the fuel filter would go. So we got that. Because this fuel line is a bit ratty, so we're going to just change it out. We'll put on some breeze clamps too in place of these squeeze clamps. There's 3, and then one after that will be 4. We're also going to change out our pumper line. So that one, we'll put a squeeze clamp on this line because this is only a pumper line. Alright, let's go cut some fuel line. Alright, so I got nice shiny new 1/4-inch fuel line, American made. And then I use these stainless steel breeze clamps or hose clamps. I don't like those squeeze clamps. After a while they get loose. This way I'll know that this is done properly. I don't have to worry about the customer having a breakdown due to fuel lines failing, or there being like little stupid vacuum leaks or fuel line or gas leaks because of the fuel line being crappy. That's why I change it out. I don't even think it's worth questioning, really. Especially for how inexpensive this stuff. It's better to just do it and do it right. Just so I know I have enough. Put that on there. See how I got a little bit of slack here? It's, for some reason, the manufacturers of these stupid things like to crank them tight. Okay, so we spoke with the customer. He's all good to go with the pump. I don't have any new pumps, and he's okay with if I put in a used pump. No warranty on it, 25 bucks. Figured it was a pretty darn good price for it. So, and it's a direct replacement. It's just a little dirty. It was pulled out of a cart that had a engine failure that we just put this in probably maybe a year ago, if that, 6 months ago or whatever. So let's put it in. what I'm doing is pushing my knee against the cart body to hold the backside of the nut captive in a square slot. You don't have to press hard. And you don't need to reef those down too tight either. They're nylock nuts, so you're good there. Come on. Little fuel filter in the way. Should have probably put that one on last. Whatever. I'm not satisfied with how tight that is, so there. Now before we put this back up to the carburetor and run it, we're going to have to I'll put the electric pump on this and prime the whole fuel system. That way I know it'll be pumping and ready to go. Okay, there you go. Now let's get the carburetor off and get it cleaned. Wow. Why is that so tight coming off there? Not obnoxiously tight, but tighter than what it should be. Oh yeah, I can see some gnarliness in the throat of the carburetor already. Carefully. Keep the air hose out of the way. Sometimes it's a little tricky. This hose is going to need to be replaced too, I think. Give it a quick knock, crank it loose. Oh, there we go. Okay, gasket's in good shape. Take that overflow line off. Up there. There might not even be anything in here at all. There's gas in it. See how much debris is in here. Oh. Blocked. I don't know if you guys can see that. Look at, there's solid chunks of shit in there. Wow. You know, it's all crystallized in there. Wow. Well, that's why the cart wasn't running. That's one reason. That's what happens when you leave your cart sit with gas in it without treating it. Oh, you can see the chunks in there. Yeah, that big chunk in the corner over there. Yep, that will cause some issues for sure. Okay. All right, now what we're going to do is put the fuel line up to here. Does help if you turn the gas on the tank. We'll see if this one will prime itself. Okay, let's get our electric pump. Okay, so I can put this back on. This is the line here from the cart's fuel system. Hooking it up to my electric fuel pump. And then we're going to allow it to pump into my oil drain pan and not back into the fuel tank, because I don't want my contaminated gas going into his fuel system. Not the greatest looking gas. It is a bit cloudy. Just going to pump out a couple of quarts just to ensure that we got some good fresh gas. Should be good. think that's a success. I added 2 ounces of stabilizer fluid, or Stabil, fuel stabilizer to the tank. That will kind of help with any gnarliness in the fuel system or whatever. It'll kind of keep the gas okay until they start using it up. So basically this cart is done. It is a little low on oil, so I think what I'll do is I'll top them up. You never want to overfill these with oil. Because if you do, they smoke. Okay, right at full. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but oil looks okay. I don't know when they did it last, so they didn't want to touch the oil. I just wanted to top it off for them. Let's see if it starts.